here, and I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks. And today we're making a lavender pillow. You know how I love my lavender pillows. I've made some in the past, and this is yet a new design. So I saw this type of construction online and I thought it would be great for a lavender pillow. So that's what we're doing today. So here I made a mini one, here I made this size, and I think this size is quite nice. So in here I have stuffing. So what I generally do is I put some stuffing in there, and then I use my essential oil to just drop a few drops on there once in a while, and that keeps, oh my goodness, I can smell it now. That keeps it smelling nice. This will fade. Yes, it will become maybe a bit dirty or maybe not so nice anymore, but then I just make another one by then. Okay. You can't really wash this. You could try, but I haven't tried, because if you are going to put different smells on it, yeah. In the end, it's just a mishmash of smells and it doesn't smell so nice anymore. So I do keep to just lavender to put on there, but you could also buy some dried lavender like this, put it in a little bag, tie it up, close it up and tie it up really well, and then put that in with your stuffing in there so it would smell as well. Now the reason why we put it in a little bag, of course, is because there are holes in this crocheted fabric and you don't want your stuffing or your lavender to come out. So I have added these things to my Amazon list, so if you wanted to order those, you can. You can use acrylic for this or cotton. I've used acrylic because that's just what I had to hand, but just any color that you fancy. So let me show you how to get started for making this lavender pillow. So I'm using DK thickness. I'm using a 3.5 because of my tension. So use the hook that you usually use for your DK yarn. Make your slip knot, insert your hook, and we're going to chain 26. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 23, 24, 25 and 26. Now we're going to do single crochets. So we're going to chain 1 and skip the turning chain. Into the first chain you're going to place a single crochet. There we go. Now if you want to mark your stitch, do so now with a stitch marker so you don't forget to do it when you come back. And I'm going to be placing 26 single crochets all along my chain. There we go. So I've just done my 26 single crochets. Now I'm going to chain 1, turn. The chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch, so you're going to go and find the first V, the one where the chain 1 is coming out of, this one here. There we go. Pick up both the V's and you turn back and you do 26 single crochets going back along the row. And this is how you will continue for a number of rows. Now I did 16 rows and that was tall enough for the design that I wanted to achieve, but as you can tell here I did a fancy stitch. Now you don't have to do a fancy stitch. You can of course do whichever stitches you like, just as long as you make sure that you are still doing your 26 single crochets. Okay, so in the next row I will show you how to do this fancy stitch I did over there, but I'm not going to keep it in my example here because I just want a plain one now. So make sure you don't forget to do the last stitch. There we go. Chain 1, turn and a single crochet in the first stitch. Then for my fancy stitch, I yarned over, went into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, into the stitch, pull up a loop. So I did this twice, then I yarned over and I pulled through all the loops. And then I did a single crochet in the next stitch. And this sort of gave me a little bit of an effect. Then I did the same thing again to do the little bead almost, and a single crochet. Then the next one. And I mean, you can do this, you know, for whatever you want to do, really. I mean, you could be practicing your crochet. If you're a beginner, this is the ideal little pattern, or the ideal little, how should I say, size for you to practice your stitches, and then you have a little panel. But what do you do with those panels? Because you've spent time making them, but you don't really do anything with them. And this way, you can turn them into gifts even. Right, so this is what my little stitch, the fancy stitch that I did, looks like. And to be honest, at the end of the row, I just made the row up. So if I had 2 stitches left over, I just did 2 single crochets. But for now, I'm not going to do that because I just want a plain sort of, you know, pyramid, so to speak, with for my lavender basically. So I'm just going to continue doing my rows of single crochets. You could do half double crochets, but you don't want to create, as you can tell, too many holes. If you wanted to and you want to make it really tight, you could try a smaller hook, but you need to obtain a certain size, of course, because otherwise your triangle, like here, you know, this one is really small. It works as well. You don't want to go much bigger than this one because then it's just too cumbersome and too big. So see how big you make yours without creating too many holes. So I will see you now when you have finished your panel. So here is my panel. I've done 16 rows. It is 16 centimeters wide, or about 8 inches, and it is 8 centimeters tall, or about 3 inches. And that's about the size you need to make your lavender pillow. So now that we have finished here, we are going to put the 2 sides together. So chain 1, and you are going to bring up the opposite side and find, let's have a good look here, a chain, a strand that is on the utmost corner, and then go into that same stitch on the opposite side, so right next to your chain, and bring through the yarn and through the loop on your hook. So you are picking up, I would say, just sensible locations on both sides of the panel, quite nicely next to each other, maybe 1 strand, maybe 2 strands. See just what makes sense basically. Just try and create a nice join. So I'm going to put the join on the inside, so I will be turning this inside out, but still try and make it as much on the side as you can. So really pick up those strands on the edge of your panel, and also make sure you keep tallying up the rows so that you know, you don't end up with this one ending here and then you've got some left over. So make sure you advance on both sides at an equal pace, I should say. Right. So this is what it looks like here. I will see you at the corner. Also, don't do your slip stitches too tightly because you might just, you know, bring things in, but just make sure that you can still bring it out like this. So that's okay there. Then here I just need to do 1 more stitch, But this is the one that we're going to designate as the corner. So we're going to try and find a location to go into. See, there's a little hole here. I'm just going to use it basically. Then here, yeah, as much as you can to the corner, that's fine. And you're going to do a single crochet. Then you're going to do another one in that same location and another one in that same location, because we need to turn, you see. So we have to make a little corner here. This is the end. I'm just going to let that hang out. There's no need to sew it in, because obviously it's going to be on the inside. And then here, now we have these leftover chains to tally up. Again, try and tally them up as well as you can. Let me see if I can find the first one on this side. This one here. And then the first one on this side. Where shall we go? Maybe this one here. Is that too far from the corner, or should I pick up one just about there? There we go. And do a slip stitch. And then once again start tallying up those stitches, making sure that you close up. Have I used this one? No, I don't think so. And just keep going like this, making sure that you're closing up all your stitches. If it doesn't work out towards the end, just make it work out. Nobody is going to see that or notice that or anything like that. So here, and then which one is the next one that hasn't been used? This one there. Again, don't do it too tightly, because otherwise you'll be pulling things together. Is it going to work out? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, maybe, maybe not. I think it's going to be okay. If you have a stitch left over, don't worry about it too much. Is there a stitch left over here? Maybe, I can't really tell, but there we go. Right, so I've just done the last stitch and that's fine. So once again, you're going to cut off your yarn here, pull out, and you can just leave that there because this is going to be inside. So now I'm going to turn it inside out and see, this is how my drawing looks, and I think I like that, so that's looking good. Here as well looks good, right? So now we have to see what we're going to do. So I'm going to put my bag here. Make sure you tie this really well, so none of the actual lavender is going to come out if you're going to use this. Or actually, I might just use stuffing again, because I think that's just the cleanest way of doing this. So I'm going to put some stuffing in. There we go. Make sure your ends are in there as well. Don't put too much stuffing, just put enough. And then you're going to grab your yarn again and your hook. And this time, so we have joined it here in this direction. Now we are going to hold it flat like this, and we're going to push it together like so. So completely perpendicular to this join, we're going to join here. Okay, make sure your stuffing is inside. So looking at it from the top, you can see you've got your side join here. Make sure that this is somewhat in the middle of this opening, because this is where you're going to join now. Now we go to the side here where we will be using 2 adjacent stitches to get started. But to make sure we don't have to sew in an end, we're going to put our yarn inside, have it hanging out like this, then pick up a V on this side, pick up a V on the other side, making sure you've got your yarn there, and pull through the yarn to make a loop. There we go. Then into the next stitch and into the next stitch, pull up and do a slip stitch, into the next one, into the next one. So picking up the inner loops, I am here. There we go. So we've started, so our yarn is on the inside of our work. So we don't need to sew that one in. Now, if you wanted to, you could now just give it a little bit of a nudge so it's nice and tight, but that's all you need to do. Put that back in, and we're just going to find those inner loops, and we do a slip stitch. And of course, because you've got 26 stitches, you'll be doing about 13 stitches. And here, of course, we've joined, but just pick up whatever you think you can use best there. I'll just use this one here. Voila. And you keep going, and hopefully it works out, but if it doesn't, I'm just going to, you know, not worry about it. There we go. Voila, look, and I think, yeah, I like the look. This is quite a nice, neat join there. And then here, I find one here, one there. That might not have been the inner, yeah, there we go, that was the inner loop now. And to be honest, I'm not going to find any more stitches to connect with here, so I'm just not going to worry about that. Okay, so next thing to do is cut off your yarn, pull out your yarn there, put your hook in, make sure you end up near where your end is, pull it into your pillow as far as you can, come back out again without bringing stuffing along because that's happened before, and then you just shape it a little bit, and there we go, we have our lavender pillow. And so I'm putting the stuffing in all the corners, pushing it a bit around. There we go, voila. And now, of course, for the moment suprême, a few drops of lavender. There we go. Oh my goodness, I have loved the smell. While I was filming, it was really nice. So there we go. So here we have our lavender pillows. Hide them in your cupboards, hide them, you know, behind the sofa, but also put them on display because they are pretty enough to do so. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this project, and I hope you will make it. Thank you for being here on my channel and for supporting me, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.